Hello, my Aries friends. This is Jill with the Healing Moon Tarot, and today we're going to do your November 2018 general reading. Let me take a quick look. Aries. Oh my gosh, sorry. I swear I just had it pulled up. Aries, October. You were renewal of peace for your oracle card. So were you able to experience that at all, Aries? Did you have some peace renewed in your life and be able to feel better about something, or just, you know, peace is a big word, but when you feel it, you know it. So I hope that you were able to have some of that light in your life in October. And now for the month of November, we have show your support. So you, with being able to gain some renewal of peace, may be in a place where you're feeling good and feeling like you have energy to give to others this month. So going into November, there may be opportunities so that you can show support for people, be part of their team, whether someone in your life is going through an illness, a hard time, just needs a friend, needs financial support, anything where you can comfortably give of your time, energy, or resources to someone else. And I'm not telling you to go financially support something that you can't, or to give away all of your energy to someone else, but to be in a renewed place where you can know what do I have, what do I need, what do I have excess, and that can be used for the betterment or support of someone else. That's a beautiful energy to come into our season of Thanksgiving, right? You may have an opportunity to show support for family or friends that are going through a difficult time. This time of year is hard for a lot of people. To be that friend, to be that family, to be someone for someone in need. So we're going to start by pulling cards for our mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual space. I've been doing this format for a little while now. I'm enjoying it. You all seem to be enjoying it. I'm going to get all the cards pulled out before I start speaking, just to kind of cut down on time. All right. For your physical space, we have the Magician coming out, which is a deliberate creator, right? A magician is creating something in front of someone else. Like, I'm going to manifest this thing. And sometimes it is a delusion, but their actions have to be very deliberate, and they have to make wise use of resources and so forth to really create an alternate reality for themselves or for someone else. This card always makes me think of resources. All of the suits represented in these cards are on his table. He has a sword, a coin, a cup, and a wand. He's pointing above and below. There's this infinity sign here, this constant, never-ending power, if you will. So this coming in your mental space, this could be you getting clear on setting intentions, you getting clear on what are your resources, both physically and non-physically. What am I good at? What are my skill sets? What resources are available to me? This could be friends, family, co-workers, so forth. Where can I gain knowledge? Who could fill one of these spots for me? Who can be my logic right now? I'm not, and this comes down to, if I'm being really emotional right now and I need to reach out to someone who's logical and decisive, that can help me to gauge my decisions, this all starts to play a role in this, and this coming out as your mental space. This is you putting intentional thought into whatever it is you're trying to create in your life. Beautiful, beautiful, exciting card to come there. Now we have the card of the Six of Cups coming out in your physical space, which it's Thanksgiving time. This is a card of nostalgia. This is a card of young, innocent, these are two young people innocently exchanging a cup, which represents our emotional space. So being open, authentic, when you're a kid and you can meet someone and be best friends in like 3 minutes, like that's all it took, and they were your entire universe. This willingness, this sweetness and kindness and innocence of having those kinds of relationships. So whether this is older relationships with young, when your friend group or your family, of more innocent childlike times, maybe you are traveling to go spend time with your family for the holidays, and that nostalgia, you walk in. I still experience this so heavily. I walk into my grandparents' house. I don't even need to get in that far. I turn onto their road and it floods in the memories, the feelings associated with that place. It's so special. And then walking into the house and the smells that are the same and have been the same the entirety of my life, and all of that floods in, and it's so special, and I'm so grateful that I take time to appreciate that. And it's amazing. So this coming in your physical space, I hope with my whole heart that some of that energy shows up for you this month. You get to experience some of that innocent, sweet love and connection with other human beings this month. I would look for opportunities to get to do that. Now coming out in our emotional space, we have the Queen of Coins. The Queen of Coins is like Mother Earth kind of energy, someone who's very grounded, connected to material things, both in nature and how we make money, what has value and worth to us, what we surround ourselves with. And this is the second time today this card has came out in an emotional space for Aquarius. So I initially feel very drawn to having a mature emotional connection to your physical world. So this can come into budgeting, into consumerism. Do you shop because it brings you some kind of emotional experience? These kinds of energies going into the holidays again, I think are important to talk about. A lot of people unfortunately treat the holidays as a time to be frivolous with their money, to not be mature, make good decisions. They get emotionally attached to the physical presence of, giving gifts or exchanging gifts, or it's a big topic. I'm not going to preach to you all day, but if this is hitting home at all for you, that may be something you need to write in your notebook or spend time meditating about, thinking, giving yourself some time and say, just have a conversation with yourself. Am I involved in consumerism? Am I being smart with my budget? Do I let the holidays or things that are coming up affect how I spend money? And what are my emotional responses to these questions? How does this make me feel? And so forth. Going into our spiritual space, we have the Eight of Coins. This card, in a negative sense, may be monotony. Or this could be just a diligent person who's willing to put in the work, who's willing to do the same thing over and over again because it's working for them. So this coming out in a spiritual space, Your routine may feel a little lackluster to you right now. Whether you attend church services, go to some kind of groups, are involved in some kind of self help regime, if you will, routine of life, whatever you associate with your spiritual space. If you're feeling a little ho-hum about it, it may be time to mix it up a little bit. It may be time to make some adjustments to your routine, but this may just be suggesting a routine in general. If you do not have a routine, and I'm not telling you you have to go to church 3 times a week. I'm saying, what is your routine that allows time and space for you to have a relationship, a profitable relationship, something that's meaningful, has worth and value in your spiritual space? This could be setting a reminder on your phone to take 5 minutes to pray or meditate every afternoon at a specific time. This may be joining a group and holding yourself accountable to actually attending those kinds of things, Aries. So these are beautiful starter cards. These are some really amazing energies to come out for you this month. And all of these energies go back in a way to show your support for others. And even show your support for yourself, because it doesn't say others, it says show your support. So for you and for others, appreciate your skills, appreciate the resources and skills of others, be knowledgeable and thoughtful in how all of that works together. Showing support can come into play with authentically connecting with people. Like I said, those 3 minutes that it took to make that best friend when you were 5 years old, there was a willingness to support and trust each other. There wasn't fear. There wasn't a jaded, like, oh, I can't tell this person that because they're going to judge me or they're not going to want to play with me. It was you. And you and them were having a good time, and you were letting each other be each other, and you were best friends, So that may come into play with that as well. Showing support financially, again, how are you supporting yourself and your family, your life? What is your relationship to that? Are you supporting yourself? Are you paying yourself what you're worth? You know what I mean? Are you investing in your future and in long-term things, or are you being a bit frivolous? Is your supporting others? Does this play a role in your maturity level with your financial matters in your physical world? And showing your support, again, spiritually to yourself. Do I have a routine? Is my routine boring me? Do I need to show myself that I support my spiritual life in a way where I'm going to give myself time and energy and try to find something that works well for me? What we're going to do now is pause the video, move cards out of the way, and we're going to continue on to the second part of our reading. Okay, Aries, the first card we are going to pull from this deck is for our challenge for the month. I didn't really want to take that one, and now I see why. So we have the King of Coins, or Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and the Tower. So we have the Queen up here in your emotional space. So this is the masculine and feminine form of these energies. This King coming out in a challenge, and I think that's a big reason why I touched on the consumerism and so forth with her and your emotional relationship to that. This King is may be very driven financially. Money may matter a lot to you right now, Aries. It may be a focus of yours of, I need to get this under control. But with this Page of Cups coming out and then the Tower, Page of Cups is emotional. So again, an emotional card, a coin card came out in your emotions, and now an emotion card's coming out with that in your challenge. You may be your emotional connections to money may be the exact reason why things aren't working in your favor. The Tower card represents, well, let me go back to him real quick. The Page is the immature of the King. He's the kid. He's the teenager version of him. He hopes to someday get here, but he's got some lessons to learn and some things to figure out to get there. And this emotional, the Pages are like an excitable energy. It's young and immature, and it's going to make mistakes, but it makes up for its mistakes in its willingness to be there, right? This, I'm excited, let's go, because I want to be the king. So what I'm saying is there seems to be an issue with that, emotionally tying to our physical world. The Tower represents things kind of falling down, right? It's getting destroyed. Like stuff's hit the fan. But I always take this card as an opportunity. When a house is being remodeled, there's demo day. And demo day, depending on your perspective, can be a hell of a lot of fun or a hell of a lot of work, but it's both. But you're going to rip out all the old so you can create it the way you want it. And you're going to break this down to the studs and say, okay, that worked, this didn't work, this is my idea, I'm going to rehab this, refresh it, and I'm going to create this old nasty whatever it was into my space, right? So even though things are a little shaken here, it leads to opportunity. It's coming out as everything coming together the way it's played out and in your challenge. I think in order to avoid things getting too demolished and avoid you having a bad attitude when things aren't working out, is to refocus on what truly has value and why are my emotional responses connected to physical things. What's my relationship with that, and how can I be better adjusted and more mature when it comes to these kinds of situations? Let's go now to a strength card, a card that you can use to your strength this month. Let's see. Ace of Wands. So it's seeing the potential in a creative moment. I always see the Ace of Wands as a matchstick ready to be struck. It is that a matchstick is harmless in its own right, right? It's just a matchstick. Like something has to happen to it for the fire to come. And a fire from a matchstick could literally burn down this entire city. All it takes is a spark applied at the right time, in the right place, in the right way, right? We understand how forest fires work. If you're my age, you know, you have Smokey the Bear in his little uniform on TV telling you about forest fires. So in your life, taking the time to find that potential, that if I do this, this can create something bigger and better and awesome, and this is it can bring excitement and enjoyment to my space. These are those aha moments. So it coming out in your strengths this month is telling you to pay attention to that. Do you have these creative sparks? And if you would have just taken one more step with it, if you would have just approached it in a different way, or paid any attention to it at all, what could it be? And I'm not telling you to feel sorry for all the ones you've let go. We've all lost a million ideas through our head, right? But pull on your strength of being able to recognize that potential. Let's pull a need to know card. I'm not taking that King of Swords. I never take the first one out when it's like the first shuffle. I shouldn't say first one out, because it's mostly just my hands don't work. Three of Coins. Another coins card. We are definitely coin heavy. And this card always represents a teamwork, an ability to get your thing, your stuff, in correlation with the right people that can be mutually beneficial to each other in growing this. Okay? So on another deck, like the first deck I used, it's shown with a person that looks like they're selling their creation or invention to two other people. Here it's different. He's drafting plans. So, you know, you think of an architect. They know every little thing that it's going to take to build this house. They do all the measuring and all the ideas and the thoughts and the planning. But typically they are not involved in the building, but they have to have an understood relationship with the people building the house. There has to be this very precise communication to happen there for things to go smoothly and for this house to be built exactly as he intended. So I always stress this. You have to be willing to work with others to grow things. You have to be willing, if you are a master of one thing, you can't micro out, okay, I have to do this and this. Sometimes it's best to be more like the magician who says, okay, this person has this skill and this person has this skill, and these are all my different resources and the people in my life, and how can I best interact with all of these to bring it together? Because we need all of these things. We need the emotions, we need the logic, we need the creativity, we need the action. We need this all to come together so this thing can become, right? So this coming out in your need to know, you need to know that. You need to know you're not alone. If you're trying to create more, you're probably going to need the resources or help of others. And be willing to look for opportunities there in your life to connect with people in a way that would mutually benefit you, whether that's at your job, in your home or friend circles, if you own your own business. Who am I working with to create the life I want in general? And how do we interact with each other? And how do I appreciate their efforts? And do I understand who they are and what their skills are? Let's end on a suggestion card for you. We have the Five of Cups and the Devil card. This combination came out in this for Scorpios last month. And I told some pretty personal information because I get this combo pretty well. I am a Scorpio Sun. Tomorrow is my birthday, November 1st. I'm excited. I will be 38 years old. And I understand this. I shouldn't laugh about it, but I mean, at this point, let me get into it. The Devil card is all about what we give our power to. So this could be attachments, addictions, allowing someone else or something else to control our happiness and our power as a human. It could be a simple phone addiction. It could be addiction to peanut butter M&Ms. It could... I'm being ridiculous because it could literally be anything. Every single person on this planet that I've ever come in contact with has attachments or addictions that are not necessarily beneficial to them, period. They give their power in some way to someone or something else. A lot of times this is shown in relationships. I will be happy if they... I can be happy when I'll be happy when they're happy, this kind of stuff. Instead of owning your own happiness, being full and content within yourself, and then having the opportunity and having the willingness to share your happiness and to deal with life with another person, rather than being dependent on them and giving them your power and saying, you know, they'll decide when and how I can be happy. The Five of Cups is grief. Where is that coming from? Sorry, one moment. My husband left his phone, and I was very surprised to hear something ringing. Anyway, this card is grief. Cannot see what's yet to come. He's only focused on what has been lost. It is very easy to give power to grief. It's very easy to get caught up in what has been lost, and very focused and in a rumination of the past and things that we no longer have. I've lost a lot of people in my life. Most of them died way too young. We're talking 8, 18, 23, 51. I've experienced more grief in that way, as far as losing loved ones, than most people I know. And I, for a period of time, was so consumed with it that it was my addiction. My grief became my everything. I gave all of my power to it. I was unable to ever see what was present day and the joys and the love and the good, because I was consumed with the loss. So this coming out in your suggestion area, again, the Cups cards have kind of played an interesting role here. And I think it's going to be very important for you to be mindful of your emotional relationships right now, and not just with others and with material, but with yourself. Do I let my griefs and loss control me? Do I give that power? And it's okay to pause when you need to. Give yourself time to digest. I'm not telling you that if someone died, that you just move on and you forget about it. No, but you can respect that this is there without sticking yourself there. Does that make sense? You can accept that I get sad sometimes for what seems like no reason. A little thing will come to mind. There'll be a memory, a smell. Smells get me so bad. And they can consume me, and I'm instantly right back into this and can't be in the moment. I become consumed with this past, and I'll ruminate and hold on to it. the suggestion here in short is to take a look at your relationships to these energies. What am I attaching my emotions to? Do I spend money in an unhealthy way to get my head to lift out of this? Do I use it as a temporary fix band-aid? Like, I'm going to go to the store, it's going to be a distraction, I'm going to shop, I'm going to find things that are pretty and sparkly, and it's going to make me feel good. But then you go home, and that sparkly, pretty stuff gets put in a drawer or put away. And typically, we go back to feeling like this because that really wasn't a fix. It was a band-aid. It was a drink of wine, to put it in another term. It was it was a distraction, period. It was a distraction. It was a temporary fix to a long-term problem that you may need to call yourself on this month. So I'm sorry. I feel like I've been kind of mean to you, but that's me being blatant. Okay. I'd love to hear from you, though. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. If this did not resonate with you in any way, shape, or form, or you're like, girl, you're crazy, whatever, tell me. Criticisms or anything. It's helping me grow. It's helping me learn about people. It's helping me. Every time I do a reading for you, I'm helping myself understand these energies and how they show up in our world. And it's like I'm creating a more and more database in myself to be able to communicate with people in a way that helps them in some way, shape, or form. You don't need to go out and have a checklist. Jill said this and Jill said that and whatever. But if you simply just listened while I did this, and it at all helped you better understand your perspective and why you are who you are, then my job is done. My purpose is to help us all explore ourselves and our relationships to all the energies that show up in our world, and have as much understanding of it all as we can. I enjoyed doing this reading. I hope you aren't mad at me for fussing at you. I hope you have an absolutely amazing month of November. And be well, my friends. Bye.